This is Annette Negron, and our special guest today is Emily Wirowek. Did I say that correctly?
Very good.
All right, there we go. And Emily is an attorney. She specializes in trusts, living wills, and business planning. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you do have some really interesting niches, which I like, is special needs planning.
Special needs planning for families that have children with disabilities, mental and physical disabilities. They can do certain kinds of planning that is great for them and great for the kids because they can continue to be on their public assistance programs and still benefit from mom and dad from whatever they've left behind.
And which is something that you definitely want to plan for.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is very, very crucial and essential for that.
It is. Many times families are so busy focusing on taking care of them. And I have a younger sister who has limited abilities, and so I know what it's like. You just go every day, every day, every day.
Right.
Never stopping to think about what's going to happen if.
Right.
And so I help bring in the if, so that way there's ease.
And you
peace
can,
of mind.
Peace of mind, and you can get through your average day with something less to worry about.
Yes, yes.
Now, you are here in California,
I am.
but one of the special, I think, which is very unique, is that you travel and visit your clients. In other words, you go to their home or their place of business, right?
I do. I'm very unique in that respect. I make house calls, make it a little bit more flexible and easy for my clients, because then they don't have to hire a babysitter or hire a caretaker for mom or dad, or take time off from work to come to an office. I come to them, and we do either evening appointments if they need to, or Saturday morning appointments. And for those who are in business, if we're doing any business planning or business formation, I go to their office, and then they can just stay right at work and do
go
what
on
they
with
need
their
to
day.
do. Yeah, do what they need to do.
Well, I think that's a great niche. I think that's something that's needed, and I really appreciate that. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions of why we would need the services that you provide, and really tell us one of the things that people should be aware of.
One of the biggest misconceptions is that you have to be fairly old to have an estate plan, and that's not true. Anybody, once you've turned 18 in the lovely state of California, when you turn 18 you're an adult, and many of us may know that you may not be as financially responsible or mature at 18.
However, you're still 18.
However, you're still 18, and you're an adult, according to the law. And your parents can't make your health care decisions for you once you're 18, and they can't make your financial decisions or get access to your bank accounts. And so it's important, even then, to have some simple planning in place of a power of attorney or a health care directive. So there really is no age limit to estate planning. It can go down to very simple things for teenagers, essentially, an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, all the way up to very complex planning for those who are very well off in their life and have experienced many things. So there's no age limit for that.
There's no age limit.
And there's also a misconception that you have to have lots of money.
No, that's not the case.
No, it's not.
I mean, it could be, but it's not.
It very well could be. And there are reasons, there are certain planning that can be done for people who have lots of money. But in the state of California, anybody has $100,000, whether that be in real property or personal property, it's going to go in through probate, and that's a very expensive process.
So if you do have something of, let's say, equity of $100,000, by the time you go through probate, you can see a big chunk of that just kind of whittle away and so forth. And
it's not even having equity. If you have a home valued at $200,000 and you have equity of only $40,000,
guess what?
You're still going through probate.
That's right.
And there's going to be fees, and they're going to take the lead position right after the IRS on coming out of that money in that home before the bank gets its money.
That's right. They have first priority on that. One other thing is that young parents, people who have children, they definitely should plan something just in case something happens to them, and who's going to take care of their children, right?
Yeah, right. I drive up and down 99 all day, every day, and I worry about who will help my husband and take care of our dogs.
There you go.
But parents who have young children, minor children, you can have backup parents in place, and they're called guardians. But they're really the people that you think will raise your children the way you would want them to be raised. And so it's still very, very important, because we never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And when.
So planning ahead does help puts your mind at ease, and also if something was to happen to you, the person that's held responsible to take or move forward is something less that they have to worry about.
Right, and they're at ease because they know who it's going to be.
Right, exactly.
So.
That's great. And just for taking a little extra time and a little investment, because really the rewards are huge.
Right. Yeah. The rewards are huge. Yes, there's time and there's money up front, but in the long term, it's done. You've put a plan in place. It's taken care of, and there's things for the children. There's a good person to raise them. A good person. Yeah. Excellent. Now let's kind of touch on the business side. How are you helping business owners, and what do you see mostly that's needed and maybe people should think about? For business owners, a lot. I've actually seen quite a bit lately, believe it or not. People are going from a sole proprietor where they don't have any entity in place, either creating a corporation or an LLC or some sort of partnership. And that's great because you're able to protect yourself from liability exposure. Right. And so I'm doing quite a few of those recently. And also people who have rentals and maybe that's their business, they're investing, protect themselves with an LLC. That true is important because it could have a slip and fall at the home or the rental or commercial or residential. It doesn't matter. Well, there's a lot more individuals or groups that are actually buying rental properties. So I can see that's probably maybe have an influx there as a business because they're thinking in those capacities. What if? Right. And it's so easy for us to get into business. We all have great ideas and we all want to go out there and make money. Yeah, we're all guilty of this, right? All of us are doing it. But we need to prepare. Yeah, and so it's easy to get in, but we need to have an exit plan. Exactly. And so whether that's a business succession plan, a formal plan, or just as simple as having a written document that says, okay, the password to the computer is this, so you can get in and make sure the bills are still getting paid, and that's this is the broker you need to contact to sell the business, or things simple as that. But it can be very complex as a buy-sell agreement, and you're listing everything out, and that's important. Well, that's great. Now, but the other thing is that even though you may have something in place, it should be reviewed. Yes. And how often do you recommend that people should review this? I mean, every part of it. Yeah. How often? Everybody should review their estate plan, their business plans, every 2 to 3 years. Life changes, things change, people come in and out of your life for various reasons. Correct. And it's important to review them because you don't know what's changed. Maybe you have more children, maybe a child's had an accident, maybe there's children that have chosen lifestyles that you don't agree with, and you need to protect them. Exactly. Business things can change, and so it's important to review those as well. So every 2 to 3 years, people should look at them. I have many clients who, I put something in place when I had my first baby. Wonderful. That's great. And they're 65. And they're 65. And it's like, okay. And they've had 2 other children since then, right? Yes, right. And a home and many other things. And life has extremely changed for them. And so I'm glad to help them and begin the process of a more consistent updating and reviewing. You don't necessarily have to review it or update it every 3 years. But at least take a look at it. Yeah. Right. And make sure that if there are any changes, you can put them in place. Yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Absolutely. Emily, is there anything else you'd like to share with everyone? I know that you do have a class that you have, a seminar that you provide, I believe, once a month. I do provide. When is our next one? Basic foundational estate planning for anybody who wants to know. Once a month. Brandman University, which is in Salida. In Salida. Yep, it's just off the freeway on 99 and a little bit easy to get to. It's right off Frontage Road, and we just talk for an hour and a half. People can ask questions. It's free. There's no charge whatsoever for it. Just come and get some information. Provide Emily's information, her email and contact, and that way you can look at the schedule and make your plans for that, because it is about planning. It is. It's about planning. Yeah. Would you like to share any last tip or announcement or anything else? If you have any questions, you can feel free to call. I love answering questions. There's no charge. I'm happy to answer questions or look at an update for people. So phone call or an email, or what would you prefer? Either or. Either or. Perfect. There you go. Well, Emily, thank you for being here and sharing and providing some positive feedback in regards to something that a lot of people stay away from, but it's not that painful. Once it's really done, you can breathe. Right, you do. And many people do breathe. There you go. Thank you so much, Emily. Thank you. All right.